Hello, third and fourth grade, and welcome to your Tuesday writing lesson. So, now that we've talked about the different purposes for writing, now we're going to start talking about what should a writing have with it? What does a good writing piece look like? So, we call these the 6 traits of writing. So, as you can see, it makes a nice little pretty picture. We have a house here, we have a little person here, the sun is shining, there's a cloud over here, there's a foundation for the house. So I'm going to explain a little bit about what this means and what we're looking at here. So when we create a writing piece, it is kind of like building a house, right? There's a lot that goes into a good writing. So the biggest thing, it's our foundation, and it's actually going to be what we talk about first, idea development. So what this means is you build your writing around a single topic, a single idea, right? And around that idea, you're going to create this whole writing piece, and that's all you should be talking about through the entire thing, right? You should not be bouncing around to different ideas, or it won't make any sense. Then, next up, the actual house part, organization. A good writing should be well organized. So, with a narrative piece, anytime you read a book, there's a beginning, there's a middle, and then there's an end, right? Without any of those pieces, I mean, imagine writing a story but then not giving it an ending. How weird would that be? It wouldn't make any sense. Or imagine if you were to start your story from the very middle of a story and then somewhere along the line you have to go back to the beginning, right? So that's not very organized. So and then we have on our roof conventions. What does conventions mean? This is your grammar. So this is where punctuation comes in. This is your um, capitalization, things like that. So that is also very important to think about. And then we have word choice, that's the sun. So word choice is very important because you don't want to use the same words over and over again. And not to mention, when you have someone read your writing, you don't want them falling asleep, right? So sometimes we have to sprinkle in some word variety, some exciting things. So maybe if you're writing a story, you might want to throw in some automatopoeia, some noise words like bam or wow, or just different things like that. You also don't want to repeat a word over and over again. You don't want to start a sentence with the same word because then that gets kind of boring. Sentence fluency is over here. So that just means that we know how to write a proper sentence. There should be a subject, there should be a predicate, there should be, for instance, you don't want to write a bunch of sentence fragments, you don't want run ons, you want all your sentences to make sense, you want everything to flow correctly, or otherwise it's not very fun. Have you ever just read a paragraph that maybe somebody else wrote and none of it made any sense? Maybe they had some weird sentence fragments like, I went to, and then they didn't finish it. So that's what we're talking about. And then we have our person here. It's the voice. What does that mean? Well, voice becomes very important when you're telling a story. So if you're writing a narrative, you might be thinking about telling it from your perspective. Well, you want you want to sound like you're narrating the story. You want to have some interesting personality in there. So this is where our characters come in. If you have a story with multiple characters, you want to give them some kind of personality. You want it to be interesting. So that's really all that we're talking about today. I just wanted to introduce you to you the 6 traits of writing. and why they're all very important. Eventually, we're going to spend some more time on each of these things and what they all mean and how you're going to be applying these to your own writing. So there are a few little questions that came along with this lesson, so make sure you go answer those on It's Learning.